Hello guys, in this video we are going to deploy backend on AWS window instance. So let's see how we can do this. So for creating the account you need to write AWS in the Google and then you are going to go at this link. So if you already have an account, you need to sign into console. If not, you need to create an account. So while creating the account, you need to share the debit card or credit card details which have the international payment access. Amazon is going to debit 2 rupees from your card for verification purpose and then later will return it. So I have already account, so I'm going to sign into the console and then next and then sign in. Okay, since I have account, so I'm at this console page, right? So in this console page, you need to search for EC2. So before moving ahead, let's look at the core cloud service model, which are infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or software as a service. So EC2, which we are going to create, Elastic Cloud Computing, is a infrastructure as a service. So in that, company is going to provide you the operating system and hardware is of company and you can install anything whatever you want at your machine. So now let's understand what is region and availability zone. So region where the machine is physically available and availability zone. In one region there is minimum 2 and maximum 6 availability zone. Let's look into the Amazon website. So here, when you search for AWS Global Infrastructure and you're going to click on it, and then you'll see that there is 32 regions and there is 102 availability zone. So these dots, the green dots which you are able to see are regions, right? So inside one region, there can be multiple availability zone, which is minimum 2 and maximum 6. So before moving ahead, we need to create a security group for our machine. So when you're at this page, you're able to see security groups, right? In the network and security. Click on this. Now you need to create security group here. So you can give the name of your security group like window hyphen, any name you can give. Since we are going to create a window machine, so I'm just setting the window machine security group, so window SG, right? And you can, if you want, you can give the description of your machine. And then there is a inbound rule and outbound rule. So inbound rule is the incoming traffic at your machine and outbound rule is outgoing traffic of your machine. So in the inbound rule, there is a two things is required. First, RDP port. So RDP port is 3389, which you need to connect your system at your local machine. So you need to allow that, and also at which we are going to put your database at 7000 we have used. So we are going to use the port 7000, right? So we are going to add the rule here. So port range, you can give 3389, right? You can give the anywhere from IPv4, you can type right here, so anywhere, and you can give the description. You can give the port 3389 for the RDP, and then you can add the port range 7000 for your database, right? So here you can select from anywhere, right? And then add the rule, right? So in this way, you can give the inbound rule, and for outbound rule, it's a by default selected for 0.0.0.0 to all the IP addresses, right? And then you can just create the security group. I have already created, so I'm not going to create it again. So you see there is a window security group and I have description is window SG. right? And then you can see there is a inbound rule which is RDP 3389, and there is a custom TCP 7000 is present, right? Outbound rule is this, you can see, right? Now, after creating the security group, let's create the instance. Instance is nothing but a machine which we are going to create, right? Since we want to create a EC2, so I'm going to write EC2 here. You're going to select the EC2, and then you're going to go at the instance running, right? So I have already created two, so it's showing me. So we want to create it again a new, so launch instance, right? Here you can give any name to it, like window server, right? I can name it too, right? Now, inside the application, which operating system you want to use, that you can select. Since we want to use Windows, I'm going to select the Windows. So after that, there is some images which is freely available, right? I'm going to select the default one, which is already there, right? So it's showing that architecture of the machine is 64-bit, right? And all the information it is giving, right? I'm choosing the instance type T2 micro, which is freely available, in which there is a 1 GB memory you are going to get, and the one CPU. Now you need to create a key pair, right? Key pair is what? It's going to help you to connect your machine, local machine, to the private virtual machine, right? Now we are going to select the RSA. We are going to select the .pem, and then you just need to give the name of your key pair, maybe a window. I'm giving it a name window key, and just write it too. And so create key pair. This file, you need to keep it a safe, right? You are going to require this file when you are going to connect with the machine with the RDP, right? So I'm just click on this allow HTTP traffic from the internet, right? And I'm just using the default settings which is there, and I'm just giving the launch instance. See, the instance is created, successfully created. Now go to the EC2 dashboard, and then you are going to click on the instances. Just refresh this page. Now you are able to see that Windows Server 2 has been created. Now it's the instance state is running, right? So you just need to click on this ID, and then you are able to see all the things which you have selected. You can see the public IP address here. You can see the private IP address here, and these IP address is going to require when you are going to connect your machine. So I'm going to just connect it, right? So you'll see there is a RDP client, right? So RDP client is there. Either you want to download the remote desktop file, you can download and use it. But inside the window, if your machine is window, the remote desktop connection is already there. You can just click on this, and then you require the IP address. So this public IP address is required to connect your machine. You're going to click on the RD connection, and then just get this IP address, click on the connect. So it's going to require the username and password. Go to the connect again and then go to the RDP client. So here you are able to see the username is administrator, but to get the password you're going to click on the get password, and now you need to upload your private key which you have already downloaded. So this key you need to open it, and then you need to generate the decrypt password here. So since your machine password is there, just copy it and then just paste. So you need to just write here administrator, the username, and then you need this password, and then just click on the remember me and then OK. Click on the yes, and you are inside your machine, inside your instance which you have created, the window instance. Just give it a few minutes, it's going to start. So see, you got this window machine and you are inside your virtual machine. So now you need to install Node.js, Visual Studio Code, Git Bash and GitHub at your machine. So you are going to go here in the Edge. So once the edge is open, you can start without your data and then confirm and continue. Okay, so you are able to browse now. So first we are going to install the Node.js. Now just click on the Node.js and just click on the recommended version. Let's wait for download it. So when it's downloaded, just open the file. And just click on next, 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 and just install it. So after successfully installed it, just finish it. So you can check that whether it's installed or not correctly. So just you need to write node -v. You can check the version is there. So it is installed perfectly. Right. Now you need to install the Visual Studio Code. So let's download the Visual Studio Code also. Let it download. It'll take few minutes. Just double click on it to start the installation. So you just need to run it as an administrator. Accept the agreement and just choose next, next, next. You can create a desktop icon if you want. Its path you need to select it over here and next and install. Let it install. After successfully installed, just click on the finish button. So you are able to see the Visual Studio Code at this instance. Now go and click search for a Git Bash. Git Bash. Now download the Git Bash. 64 Windows setup. After download, just click on the open file and just install the Git Bash also at this machine. So just use the next, and next, and then next, and next. Just keep it the default setting and install. So after getting the successful installation of the Git, just finish. So now you require the GitHub account where you have put your backend. So I'm just going to GitHub. So you need to log in inside your GitHub account. Just click on the sign in button. You need to write the credentials here. So after login inside it, you are able to see to do backend here. So just click on this. Right. Now you need to create one folder inside this PC. So go to the C drive and just create new folder, name it backend or any name you can give, and just open the git bash here. After it, you need to just get this project, copy this link of your project, and then just need to write git clone and just paste that command, paste that link, and then enter. So once it's going to clone, you're going to get your project inside that folder. So it has been cloned perfectly. And then when you open this backend folder, you're able to see your project over here. Right. Since you want to open this in the Visual Studio Code, you can click here, or you can just write CMD here and just open it in a Visual Studio Code by this command. Once it opened up here, then what you need to do is just trust it. And then you just need to open the terminal. So since you are able to see, there is no node module folder is here, right? So we need to create the node module folder here. So for that, you just need to write npmi. So going to create the node module folder here. So you are able to see we got the node module folder perfectly here, and all the project is here. So for starting it, you need to write npm run start. So it's going to start the index.js. Just wait for a few minutes since we have started it. Okay. So mongoose.connect, right? So it's giving me error. So we don't have .env file. So need to create the .env file here. Now paste your credentials, save it. Let's try to run it again. Use the Control C to just close it, and then npm run start again. So since it is listening on 7000, you can go here and you just need to type localhost 7000. So see, our backend is started at the local host, right? So now go to your local machine, click on the instances. The instance which you have created, just click on that instance ID. You're going to get you have the public IP address. Just copy this, right? Just copy this, and now what you'll do, just go to your virtual machine here. So instead of localhost, just write that particular uh, URL and then press enter. So at this particular link, once you see that your backend is available, right? Just copy this whole link and then go to your local machine. So now let's try to open the same at here at your local machine. So you are able to see that it's not opening. So for opening it, you need to change some firewall setting at the virtual machine. So search for firewall defender and then you need to turn window defender. So you need to just turn off the window defender firewall. Just click on OK. So you have closed the firewall. Now let's try at your local machine. So to rectify the app crashed error inside the Mongoose Atlas, what you need to do, you need to allow this IP address of your instance, right? So what you will do, you will at your own machine, you will go to the Atlas and then you need to go to this organization, go to your organization, and in that you need to select your database on which you are working. Go to that and then you need to go to the security. In the security there is a network access. So your local machine IP address is this, and your IP address of the instance machine is this. So I have just add the IP address here. And now after this, when you open your server again, when you npm run start, it's going to listen on 7,000 and then that error will gone, right? So let's see, it's not going to crash again. So when you are going to refresh your page, it's not going to crashing. Now let's see, is it working on your on any machine or not? So since it is not connected at my local machine, so how I get rid of this error? If you go to your instances and if you select your instance, then you'll see inside the security group, we haven't select our security group which we have created. So what we can do for changing our security group, we can go here and go select your instance on which you want to work. Go to the actions. Inside the actions, select the security. Inside the security, change the security group. And now you can remove this security group and you can select your security group which you have created. I want to use this Windows security group. Add the security group here and then save it. Now what you'll do, you'll just refresh this page. Now your backend has been started at your local machine. Now from this address, you can access your local machine anywhere, right? So now this address we are going to use inside our front-end project. So in your front-end project, you require this link, right? Just copy this link and put it in the place of this local host. Save it. And now just run your project. Let's see whether it's working or not. I've started with the npm start. So make sure the slash is not there. right? And when you're going to start it again, after changing the .env file, you need to start your project again. So once I started, my database is perfectly working at my localhost 3000 and getting the database from my virtual machine from here, from the backend. But now if you check your Netlify project, it'll give you network error, even though our backend is perfectly working fine over here, right? If you checked it at your local project, at your local machine, then you can see that database is coming fine and our backend is working fine, right? Why this error is coming? Because if you open the inspect, if you open the console here, you can see this request has been blocked. Why? Because of HTTPS, right? SSL. Because this backend, this backend link is actually HTTP, right? And we cannot change this HTTP to the HTTPS. If we want, what we need to do, we need to set up a custom domain here. We need to purchase the domain here. Then we need to use the Route 53 and load balancer to make it work. So to make it simple, what I have done, I have created two instances inside it, right? So if you go here at the instances, so I've created two instances, Windows Server and Windows Server 3. So at the Windows Server, my front end is working, and Windows Server 3, my back end is working. See this Windows Server here in the RDP, I have opened it, and inside it, my front end is working. If you check, you can check it here. I have run my front end over here and it's working fine, right? Right. So it's working over here, and I have opened my backend at the Windows Server 3. If you'll check here, if you go there, so here my backend is working, right? So this way I have deployed my application. So I'm opening this link at my local machine. So see, it's working fine. So this way I have deployed my project on AWS and it's with the database and it's working fine. Thank you.